you're getting there. It's hard to explain, and it's okay. It's not bad. It's just it is what it is, and nobody lives forever. But the point being that when she was diagnosed, her family booked up on us. And let me tell you something. With my background in the military and other things, we are extreme. Are you a vet?
I'm not a vet. My whole family is, though, man.
Okay. We are extremely, most of us, very loyal people. It's just the way it is. And when people put their tails between their legs, okay, especially this is a loving family, don't tell me what love is. Because, you know, when people get married, it's for better or for worse. The real deal, it's not when things are good, because my wife and I had we had a wonderful marriage. It wasn't perfect, but we had a lot very good between us, okay?
Yeah.
And sometimes very good people like my wife, an awesome human, get sick. And we would wish that all bad people, you know, would get sick. Not good people, but life doesn't work like that. And that's it. So she got sick, and somebody had to do it. And I was, you know, and they all booked up because and it's not uncommon, because I started reading what the hell's going on with these people. This is crazy. This is nuts. You don't proclaim that you love someone for all these years, and they were living in the past before, because she and I have been married 25 years.
Yeah.
February.
When you say booked up, what do you mean? They came to visit a lot?
Say again?
When you say booked up?
Yeah, they beat feet on us.
Oh,
they're traitors.
Yeah.
That word in that vocabulary?
Yeah.
No. Oh no, never. No. Like, I would not play that.
So they were nowhere to be found.
Nope. And of course, as I've read, a lot of people in my position as a caregiver, they can't fathom the whole thing, and it's a lot easier to play the guilt game. And, oh, you did this and you didn't do that, and oh really? Oh, wait a minute. Oh, really? I mean, it's sad, but it's almost very comical. Like, are you kidding me? What kind of logic is this? You know, every family has its ways.
Yeah, so many dynamics there.
Yeah,
so
even
many.
very good families can have their moments, okay? But this was a highly dysfunctional situation with these people. And you know what? I know a little bit about psychology and a few things they're not aware of, which doesn't matter. All that matters is that I know. And I was watching this dynamic with these people, and I said, you know what? I got enough stress in my job. I mean, I've been retired now for 23 years.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, here and there. But the point being, I survived for a reason. Okay, you can't be weak in my businesses. It's just not gonna. It's never gonna cut it. Never. So, okay, fine. But the point being, don't attack the person in the arena. Don't go there. Did you ever this little short video on Teddy Roosevelt?
Yeah.
You ever see that? It's called Man in the Arena. Man in the Arena.
The Man in the Arena. Yeah, it's fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, you know it.
Yep.
There you go. And you don't have to be in the military, you don't have to be, not like that. Because there's thousands and thousands of caregivers in this world, and it's not only dementia, okay? A lot of different diseases where people need help. They cannot do it by themselves, and they're all heroes. Every single one of them, okay? Period, in my world. And that was even before I became a caregiver. was different.
Yeah.
Okay, but you're on it, because I sent that to a few of them and said, here you go, start here.
Huh.
I didn't, and if you know anything about Teddy Roosevelt, you know what kind of stone this guy was cut from.
Yeah.
Medal of Fire, Medal of Honor, everything else. I mean, just an amazing human. Okay, so no BS, just straight talk. And a lot of people don't function on that. They really don't. I've been fortunate because I've been associated with around many straight people. So I've been blessed.
Yeah.
This is lunacy in my life. I couldn't care less. I had to do what I needed to do. I didn't have time to shrink, get my bed and shrink all their heads. I really should have. For their sake, it's better that I didn't write a book, because I love to write. And I regret keeping a journal. I really, really do. Because who's going to remember 10 years and 2 months, every single day of everything we die, good, bad, and indifferent, all this nonsense?
It goes, there's so much. There's so much you're dealing with. Yeah.
I forgive myself. Because if they ever would have read it, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh boy. So my wife and I just rocked on. We lived our lives as best we could. And no regrets. None. And she and I talked about it in the beginning when she was lucid. And that's the time to talk.
Yeah. When she was lucid. Shortly after
she was so angry at them.
Shortly after the diagnosis?
You know, my wife's a very mellow person. She was so mellow.
So,
but the problem was...
But walk me back to the diagnosis. She's clear and lucid at that point, but there are some symptoms, and then there's a diagnosis of dementia? Like what was her state when she got the diagnosis?
Oh, she was very lucid.
Yeah.
She was still driving, and that's what they do. That's the stages.
Okay.
And, oh yeah, she was still with it. She was still. I could sell it. I understand then.
Yeah.
After the diagnosis, but I've been researching and reading on this for 10 years. I'm still reading.
Yeah.
Not like I used to, because she's placed now. I don't have to be that kind of a caregiver. Every day, the last year, once I've gotten past my second stroke, I go visit her at 3:15 every single day. That's my purpose now.
Yeah. Okay. So she's nearby. All right.
And
good.
That's on me, and I don't judge any other caregiver that wouldn't go and visit their loving mother, brother, spouse. No way, because it's very stressed. I'm very happy that she can, she's as good as she can be. And I go see her because one day I know it's going to go away. Just like I knew her condition. And other people, hopefully, they're not living in La La Land, because it's reality that their condition is going to devolve. It's not going to, there is nobody, no one who's ever survived dementia, any type of dementia. Not one. That is a stark waking up. And depending on, I've lived in the real world, and it's still tough because this is my beloved life. It comes on a different frequency, but I get it. Okay? I understand. But every day when I walk in, later, I'll be there, 3:15. I hang out with her. I feed her every day. I help her. We work as a team so she can eat. I fill her food, make it easier for her to masticate her, on her digestion and everything. And I really can do no more.
Yeah.
Because the first time they first placed her after my stroke, Then all of a sudden the family sprung into action. Oh boy, oh boy. That's a start from doing nothing. And you know what? I'm a human being. You don't know me, but I can have ice water running my veins. I can flip that switch. You know why? Because I can, because that's part of a survival mechanism. Okay? And I can do that. And there were times when I had to do this and been really toughen up because it was not easy for 10 years. And I had my moments. But these people, all of a sudden they come in and they're going to take control. You know, they're going to, oh, I get it. Oh, okay. And they still have not come down here. You know. And that's not on me. That's on them. And they only live in New Jersey. They're not. Hey, even if they live in California, they have this thing called airplanes. Okay, I mean, and I get it. Some of them work. They can't be there and here and blah 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 blah. I understand that. See, I'm more passionate and understand than they realize. It's just, but you know, I've read so many of these horror stories because look, I'm not a victim type person. I don't like to be, you know.
Yeah.
But the point being that there's so many of these stories I've read through the years. It's pitiful that I'm not the only one. That I read a story. I don't know, their mother or somebody had dementia, who lived 2 weeks. I mean, two blocks away.
Yeah.
2 blocks, and they didn't go over there. 2 blocks. You go figure that.
And whose story was this?
I mean, it's just hard.
Somebody else who stepped up as like, who got into that arena for that person. You mean they wrote this other story?
Well, they have a lot of forums for these, like support.
Yeah.
It's very.
A forum that.
It's important to get support
when
in
people
any
share
positive way that you can.
Okay.
And I've read so much, and so people that were being encouraging and okay.
So that was somebody's account. Somebody's account was, listen, I have family 2 blocks away.
Literally.
And
literally.
Yeah.
We're not talking about New Jersey.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. I can't tell you because I have a son that lives in New Jersey. I can't tell you how many sons when he was younger that I went every other weekend to stay time with him. But this was before all this. My wife got sick, and because he was in his critical period of a young man, and we moved because we were living in New Jersey and then down here to Virginia for now the last 18 and a half years. But the point being, I had to be up north, and I didn't want him to feel like we were betraying him by just leaving, because we had a beautiful home on in New Jersey, but we had to come down here, and I didn't want him to feel at that critical psychological time. And what was he, 12? He was very critical that, and his mom and I are divorced, and there's this whole dynamic going on with his wacky mother.
Yeah.
She's an awesome nurse, don't get me wrong. I can still see good of the positive stuff. She was awesome.
Yeah.
But she pulled a stunt, and I had to divorce her. And that was that. I never would tell her. Never tell her. Never.
Yeah.
Because it devastated. So be that. But I wasn't going to bail on him. See, that's on me, not on her. She threw me through hell. That's fine. That's on your shoulders. I need to see him. It's important. It's critical.
Yeah. So how often were you able to see him? A couple times a year?
I was only there two years. Every other weekend I was driving.
Oh, every other weekend. There you go. Okay.
Yeah, because we sold our house up there.
That regularity can be such a significant thing. Yeah.
And in anything in life, and too many people miss the memo, which is consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, every other weekend, you know, any one of us could say, I wish my dad was there every single weekend, every single day. But when you're looking at that's all you get, then that regularity becomes fulfilling in a way, I think.
And I appreciate you sharing that with me, because I talked about other guys. I have my own issues with my dad, because it was a generational thing. Okay, I was young, and it was a generational thing, because he was an Army guy as well, like me.
Thank you for your service.
Say again?
I said thank you for your service.
Yes, sir. But the point being that he was in the battle of the bulge, okay? And what happens, that generation, okay, greatest generation,
yep.
They deal with their emotions very, very differently. Very differently, and there was no such thing as PTSD, and that's precisely what it was with a lot of them. And my dad was one of them, and he was a stand-up guy, but he had his moments, and it took me many years, and all I wanted to do was talk to him, and you know what I'm talking about with that.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I wanted to do, but I was younger, and here he was older, and there was a whole gap, and you know, maybe similar with your dad, but problems, and it's very common, by the way. I hate to say that. Dare I use the word jealousy, that I'm jealous that a grown man would still have a wonderful relationship with their dad.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, God bless. I wish.
Yeah.
But it's too late.
Hey, all we can do is share that story, man. I mean,
yeah, that's
and
all
because some people do not value it the way that the way that some people have when they have gone without, you know. And it's like, hey man, if you have something that you can save, that you can salvage, that you can put work into, but you won't do it unless you hear how valuable it is, then that's something right there.
Yeah, we all
well, let me tell you this. It sounds like, because in my family, like, my mother will, in the next couple years, or maybe 5 to 10 years, she will need help. And me and my siblings were kind of spread out around the country. So the ones that are there will probably end up stepping up. And actually, my older sister from Seattle, or in Seattle, not from Seattle, says that she's going to go spend a bunch of time with my mother down in Florida after like a surgery, right? Wow. Because she thinks it's going to be very difficult for my younger sister, who lives near my mother, right?
Right.
So that put me in the thinking about your situation, where there's people that are far away and they're not stepping up to the plate to get in that arena, right?
Mm-hmm.
It might be going on in their mind like, oh geez, I do care and I am worried, but oh, you know what? AJ is stepping up. Thank God. And that leaves you on an island, right?
Mm-hmm.
On an island without any support. And actually, you'd only be human to have like a little bit of bitterness or animosity about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's powerful.
It's powerful.
Absolutely.
So you're giving 100%. They're giving 0. But if in their mind there's like, you know what? I want to go down and see what I can do for when I can take off and have a 3-day weekend, and I could get down there. I could help out. But you know what? If I do that, I'm going to hear an earful about how little I'm helping. You know what I mean?
Oh, this is like, where the game works. This is the vicious game.
And that's what, I don't know how to rectify that, because you want to leave the door open like, hey, clearly I'm doing what I'm doing. If there's any time anybody has, it's an open door policy. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to shame anybody for
That's
what they
right.
are or aren't
That's
doing.
right. If that's what
And you
they
might
can
have to
do,
communicate that.
That's right. If that's all they can do,
Yeah.
then it's all they can do. But it's better than nothing.
Yeah.
Okay, it's constructive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you might not want to put up the roadblocks
And
to
if
stop
people are going to play that game, tit for tat. Well, I did weekend, and where were you? For you didn't,
Yeah.
That's
No,
a BS
you got to
game.
say we're not going to do that. It's all okay.
That's right.
Everybody has their own limits,
That's
their own
right.
possibilities.
And someone has to deep down and deep sick that crap. And
Yeah.
and dismiss it in your mind, okay, and say, oh well, that's your opinion. That's fine, but I disagree, and move forward. I have to get things
Okay.
done.
Yeah.
My wife,
Yeah.
see, it took me years to figure her out too. She did too much for all of them. This is even before me. Okay, there's a long history here,
Yeah.
and I started pushing this together, this puzzle. Oh no! She did too much for everybody, and it caught up with her, but it basically got me. I think it's in here. Yeah, it's in here. It's all, yeah, it's all the end on the right.
All the way down.
Yep, all the end on the right.
Okay.
And I'm just going to run in and use the little boy's room and get the key, and I'll be right back. Now, how are we going to do this?
All right, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, now you talk me.
I don't want to